Alright, YouTube, it's time for a big update to the Occult archive. The first new work in about 2 years has been added, Homeopathia, 1847. Good work. It's only a few pages long, but if you take a look inside, you'll see that there's actually quite a bit more content than it at first appears. Back then they had a tendency to use little tiny type, 4 rows instead of 2. Rather lengthy. It's a good work. It talks about like bloodletting and dose makes the poison and all that sort of mid-19th century stuff. The Occult archive I had held off on expanding for several reasons. Number one, I didn't have enough of an audience to justify it. I realized some of those old works, some of them were being downloaded a lot. They must have been spread around. Others were kind of stagnant. 100 of them got downloaded and that's about it. And so I figured there wasn't enough demand. Number two, I didn't have the income to actually purchase new works to be scanned because I'm using physical copies. You won't find, in many cases, stuff like this on archive.org. They tend to be shorter or more obscure or more limited press or whatever. And you're not going to find them anywhere else in a working form. I decided that I wanted to expand the core of occult literature available to the world. These are free. You don't have to pay for them. I'm doing this literally out of the kindness of my heart, and because I'm a bibliophile. I want these things to be perpetuated. Now, I will be releasing paperback editions of these works. These 3 that I've obtained now have to do with homeopathy slash sort of alternative medicine. I'm going to have a new category for that. I've got a whole bunch of herbals lined up as well to release, including like culpepper. That'll take a while because I think it's about 1,200 pages. So yeah, that's going to have fairly small type and fairly small margins if I can fit them in. There's going to be a little bit of finagling going on. I think it's got several hundred illustrations too, so it's going to take a little time. But yes, the Occult archive is now, after all of this time, active again. I have the funds necessary to obtain new works. I also have a new scanning printer. The old one that I used took about 30 seconds to scan a page in any degree of quality, unless you wanted it to be rather tiny and screwed up. Some of the time it didn't even scan it properly. It had problems. It was from 2007, and I continued to use it. It was never great to begin with. It was only mediocre at best when I first purchased it anyway, and I think I got it used as well. This one's new. It's fairly good. It's a hell of a lot faster. It takes like 2 seconds to scan the page in a higher quality than I was using before, actually. So I'm very pleased about that. Until today I hadn't even tested the scanner. But it works fine. I've got 3 works here. The first is scanned. It's available, link in the description. And for right now, the Hail the Werewolf blog, the main blog that I've been using for years, will be where the Occult archive continues. I will be eventually building another blog or hosting it on a website for that same material in the future. My plan after another 3 or 4 months is to have a website built. Something to host my literature and so forth in tandem with the blog that I've already got. Something, add more tags, have better links, make it look even spiffier. And probably what I'll do is I'll have a separate blog for the Occult archive and mirror that material as well on that same website. So I'll have one website that'll host all of my work. It'll involve YouTube, it'll involve my paperback and Kindle releases, the Occult archive, random posts, news, and opinion, and it'll be sort of the nexus of all things Styx Hexenhammer. That being said, most of the action will still be on YouTube, obviously. That's where the bulk of people are interested in my work. Although I will say this, the sales of my literature are rising at roughly the same rate that my subscriber count is rising. Which is to say, yeah, there's a reason why I can now invest in at least some new material for the Occult archive. I'm not going to overextend. I'm not going to go get 200 books and it takes 2 years to scan them all. It'd be kind of useless. I'd rather get a few smaller lots here and there, slowly expand it, and by the end of next year I really want to have like 150, 200 editions available. I think it's about 102 now, or actually this might be the 103rd, thereabouts. So yeah, it'll go slowly, but it's a worthy thing because I think that these works need to be archived somewhere in a workable quality. Many cases you're not going to find it elsewhere, so I'm sort of acting as an archivist of this material. It's just something that interests me. I'm a bibliophile anyway, and these are all physical editions that I myself own. So I figured, yeah, well, I might as well scan. I mean, what happens if the cat chews one of them up. Well, now I can still read it. I've got it scanned in a high enough quality. And now with this system being so much more fast, with so much more attention to all of my work, it's going to be easy. Compared to what it used to be, it was hard to get all that stuff done. Can you imagine that many thousands of pages of material when you're using an old primitive scanner that was never good to begin with? And you have to take 30 seconds per page, and then you have to use websites to compile all of these PDFs together. Some of the sites now that are better for doing that didn't even exist when I was doing it before. And now they're a lot faster, they're more effective, they're also free. Everything's fine. As far as the Occult Archive goes, everything that I need to be in place to expand it is now present. I had to wait until that was the case to continue with that work. Like I said, though, link in the description to the blog where I'm hosting the archive. If you click on the little PDF tag to the side, which is just for actual tags and terms, you'll see listed all of the PDFs that are available with links to MediaFire. I believe there are also rapid share links, but I think those are dead. You'll have to get them through MediaFire. I can see the download count, though. Some of these works are, you wouldn't believe how many people have downloaded them. Others, not so many people are really interested in the work. But I will need to overhaul eventually the actual style. But if I get these all scanned, I have links where they can be downloaded and so forth, I can just literally reuse all of that on a different site, a different blog, or whatever ends up happening. So yes, homeopathia is now available. Gunpowder as a War Remedy is the main one. The reason that I bought the lot is it had that particular booklet. That's going to be the next to be scanned. And then there's a third booklet which it may be a little bit stiff to actually get it into the scanner properly and have it look good. If I can get it in there, I'll obviously compile that and it'll be available too. It's sort of a homeopathic meeting minutes thing. I'll probably leave off part of the end of it because it's mostly advertisements. But I'll try to get it in there in its original form as possible. That's about all. Peace out.